Hi, hey, and hello there. Behind here, and welcome back to the Comic High Ground. Okay, I'm a few days behind, and by a few days, I mean a whole damn week, but here we are. Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 8. This issue really isn't too serious in terms of must-see, but, you know, it is what it is, right? So, let's go ahead and get started. We start off with Peter and MJ getting ready for their kid's birthday party. We see Peter talking to the Pico suit, which is in his like black orb form from the first time we saw it. The orb is kind of telling Peter how it wants to go, but it doesn't really want to push the matter. It does, however, tell Peter to tell the kids happy birthday. And one thing I want to note here is that the suit's dialogue bubble is black with white writing, not unlike what it looks like when the symbiote is talking. So, I don't know if they're trying to go that route with this suit. But hopefully they keep the suit as it is. A suit like this is really cool, and this Peter should really keep it because it makes him stand out amongst the different versions of himself. So hopefully they don't go the crazy route with it. But anyway, we have a quick flashback to when Peter and Harry met Tony from the previous issue. Tony basically tells them that Peter was special because he was at the top of this list. The list he's talking about is a list of important heroes the Maker had to get out of his way. Harry, for whatever reason, thinks he wants to be intimidating and tells Tony he better not be lying. And then Tony's pretty much like, hey, who are you? And Harry's like, none of your business. So Tony puts his hand on the chest plate of the Goblin suit and the Goblin helmet goes off. And Peter's looking like, yeah, that ain't funny when someone do it to you, is it? When Tony asks Harry why he has access to his tech, Harry tells him that he actually bought the company and it's his now. Harry then asked Tony where he was on the list, and Tony's like, you weren't on the list. No one invited you, Harry Osborn. Okay, he he didn't say that, but he did tell him he wasn't on the list. Tony then tells Harry to keep the suit and tech and pretty much the company and heads out saying that if Harry's friends are Peter, then he must be okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind before I continue is that I imagine that Harry won't be taking that you weren't on the list thing too lightly. He's probably going to be very agitated about it in the future, which might be the fight, the Spider-Man Goblin fight that I've been kind of talking about since this all started. But I believe we're going to kind of see like this Goku and Vegeta style confrontation. Harry's definitely going to have like this superiority complex, and him not being on the list while Peter is probably going to eat at him. So now we get to the present day. Uncle Ben and Jameson are at the party and basically have convinced Peter to join them at the paper. Jameson brings Peter's son a book which he wrote and has like this nice heart-to-heart about how they're both kind of to themselves, or how Jameson was to himself in high school as well, and they like to read and things like that. And that's all the time I'm going to give to this party in this review because it's basically filler. Now we're going to get to the next important thing in the book, which is what's going on with Fisk. He's talking to his assistant about his guests and making sure that his assistant did his job right, considering who the guests are. And there are all these big names in crime in different parts of the city. We see Martin Lee, aka Mr. Negative, the Cat, Walter Hardy, father of Felicia Hardy, of course, Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, and lastly, the Mole Man. And this is a team he's assembled to basically hunt down and take out Spider-Man and the Goblin. Essentially, this universe's version of the Sinister Six. Now, we are missing one person, unless it's going to be Kingpin himself, which is possible. Two things I want to mention about this team, by the way, is the inclusion of Walter Hardy and Mole Man. Stuff like this is what I like about this book. Walter Hardy has never been a member of the Sinister Six before, and in fact, to my knowledge, I think he's always been more of a loner. So his inclusion here is pretty cool. I actually wonder how this will impact the introduction of Black Cat in the story, because we know she's going to be here soon. And we also know she's half black in this universe, which is pretty interesting. Now, the second thing I wanted to bring up was Mole Man being here. That's way out of left field. I'm not sure what to think of that actually, because he's usually associated with the Fantastic Four. But considering the fact that the Fantastic Four don't exist in this universe, well, let's see how Hickman handles it. All in all, it's a pretty good issue. Not a real big one. Definitely not a real important one, but still good. I'm definitely looking forward to see what he's setting up though. So that's basically the review for this one. Again, I know this is probably a really quick video, but there wasn't a lot to unpack here. I mean, you got a quick like 2 or 3 page conversation with Tony Stark. Then it was the birthday party, which took up like the big middle portion of the story, and then the Kingpin stuff was kind of probably the highlight. So I'm assuming that the next issue is going to be real big because we should get some action now that the Sinister Six are in play. I do wonder how Harry's going to act moving forward because, like I said, I feel like the whole list thing is going to be eating away at him, and I don't think he's just going to let that go. We know he's not going to let that go. He's an Osborn. But hey, we'll see, right? But yeah, so we are waiting for, I think, issue number 9 now, which should be coming by the end of September, I think. So, I mean, we'll see then. Hit that like button if you like what you saw. Drop a comment to let me know what you thought. You probably won't have too many comments because, I mean, again, this issue wasn't too, entertaining, if you will. But still, drop a comment to let me know what you thought about, I guess, Tony and Harry's reaction and everything. Subscribe for more, and remember, we have the high ground. Catch you later.